Hi guys, and welcome to another video by Trail Vegan and Frodo. As you can probably hear, I'm still a bit sick, so apologies for the sound, but hopefully it goes away soon. Woohoo. So I wanted to make a video since it's, I just finished another tour and I have many more tours coming in the future, but I find that every time I go on a tour I learn a whole lot of cool things and I'd love to share it with you guys because I think it's very helpful. They're very just, useful things to learn, and it's also very interesting for me, even for myself, just to kind of notice that progression that I go through and how my understanding of things change and how my opinion on certain things change of whatever can happen on the road. So as you might be aware, the weather hasn't been ideal for my most recent tour, but I'm grateful for it in a way because it has allowed me to experience new ways of cycling, and just like it is just an experience, right? Like, so then now you're just like a little bit more aware and you can say on the know about certain things. So before you go on your next tour, one of my number one first advices would be now is to know the state or the country you're going to and know the website or the number that you can call to check on the roads. So because like sometimes you just can't guarantee that everything is gonna go perfectly and smoothly and the weather's gonna be, top notch. So I think knowing the emergency numbers or knowing like the websites to go to and have a look, the road condition, whether the roads are open, whether everything is as it should be. And even before you leave, even if it is not like the rainy season and there's not gonna be even a chance of freaking whatever, anything, it is good to just go and check and look over the roads and their current condition. And because that kind of also shows you where there are roadworks on your way. There might be roadworks, and there's like, you're just more aware of what is happening, and maybe there's like some road closure due to something, but Google Maps hasn't updated it yet, for example. So it is good to look on the local state maps and just websites for the traffic or whatever. Like you can look at for example, Victoria, like a state in Australia, one of the states called Victoria, so it could be like Victoria, roads, traffic or something, and it'll give you one of the local websites, like the government websites that gets updated regularly, and you can see like what's happening on the road. So that is something that is very important, and it's good to be aware of it, like not just be blank. I mean, it's brilliant that we live in such world that a lot of us have these like devices like, iPhones and smartphones and whatever, and we can just quickly look it up on our internets. But, like it's good to be aware of it before you go as well. So number two, something that is quite good, I think, and is important to remember is I have talked a lot about knowing the map. I want to add to it knowing alternative routes, because sometimes due to unforeseen reasons something might happen and you might not be able to go and take the originally planned route. So have that plan B, right? And plan C even. Like, what would you do if this road is shut? What would you do if that road is shut? Obviously don't go into crazy freaking detail and spend 10 hours learning every single road and every single turn, but just kind of have an idea. Okay, well, this is the main state highway, but this is another highway that I can take if something happens to this way or whatever. Or if you just, I don't know, run out of time, get sick, decide that you can't ride as much as you normally would because something happened, like just whatever, like, you got sick on the way. So number three is definitely knowing the weather and being aware of the weather in the area that you're going into cycling. So, and having needed clothing for that. So it is definitely like, seriously, do not skimp out on warm cycling clothes, or do not skimp out on waterproof clothes, because like water 100%, waterproof, not just water resistant but waterproof. And because like sometimes it just happens, and you know, it just rains, and sometimes it like freaking pours, and what are you gonna do if it's raining for like 6 or 7 hours straight? Like, you need to be able to handle those conditions if you want to be going on these long rides. And I mean, it's all pretty sweet when you're just at home and, you know, you can go for a ride and it's sweet as, or you can just stay at home and it's just as good and you don't need to worry about things. But when you're going out, you need to make sure that you have really, really good socks. Try to even get waterproof socks, they exist. Make sure that you have gloves, like full fingered gloves as well. I think waterproof gloves are perfect, but I don't know, you know, how many people would have them or can find them. But I have a couple of ideas that I might like trial out, and I'll tell you how that goes in terms of having waterproof gloves, full fingered gloves. Okay, so having good clothes is incredibly important, like just so important, seriously. Another thing is do not stress about planning every single thing. So I'm slowly learning how to be okay with that bit of the unknown, that bit of mystery, I guess, on the road, on your trip, when you don't know every single point, when you don't know where you're gonna sleep tonight. Because as long as you know you're passing towns, and I mean, if you're traveling with a tent, that's great, that's awesome, it's like no worries for you. But if you're not, and if you're just cycling with like your pennies and your rake and whatnot, there is, I'll open up a little secret to you guys. You know, you must have heard of couch surfing, right? It's a pretty big thing. It's when people all over the world open their houses for you so you can like stay the night and, you know, whatever, if you need on the way. So there is a similar for free, or like they can give you some food, or you can stay there sometimes longer or shorter or whatever. So there is such a thing for cycling world, for touring. So this is that's called warm showers. It is specifically for people who want to cycle and want to do tours. Like it wouldn't work if you just turned up in some city and like, oh, you know, can you guys put me up? That's what couch surfing is for. Warm showers is specifically for people who do tours, who do long rides over like, you know, weeks, days and months, whatever. Like, and it's all over the world as well, and it is basically people who are into cycling, who are into touring in specific, and they are willing to put you up for a night, or maybe like, I don't know, a couple of nights, but usually it's for a night, since touring is about like going from A to B to C to D and so on. Not anyway. And sometimes they'll give you food as well. Sometimes you can just have a shower there and tent in their backyard. Sometimes they'll have a bed available for you, or a room that you can stay in. And there's often like these people that host cyclists are usually really into cycling as well, because that's why they want to be part of that amazing, awesome community that does such great things. And they'll be able to help you fix your bike, or they'll know where the local shops are, which would be like best at fixing your bike. If you need something on the way, they'll, you know, help you fix your patch your tires up. They'll maybe even have like the lube for your chain, and like it's just a really great tool to use, and it's awesome to know about it if you are wanting to do tours. And also get on board on that train yourself, and be willing to host cyclists from touring and riding from all over the world, and like with whatever you can, if it is just a meal that you give them, or if they can just have a shower at your house, if your house is not big enough to, like, for example, give them a bed, but they could like camp in your backyard or stay on the balcony if it's warm, or anything, you know, something like that. And it is just, it's a great environment, it's a great community. So get amongst it if you're considering cycling and touring. It's very lovely, and you can meet a lot of very, very interesting people. And again, that kind of also flows into not needing to plan every single thing, and just kind of believing and trusting in the adventure and in the universe, and kind of just letting it happen to you. Right, we'll do more talking about this, definitely, absolutely, and we'll talk about traveling and flying with the bike, and I'll definitely get the vlogs out to you as well. So let's stop this video here. It's getting pretty long. Hope it's been somewhat interesting and you got some little interesting tips, new little things to think about before you go on your next trip. And remember to stop counting calories, start counting hills, count your adventures, count your passions, go places, explore the world, explore yourself, explore your life and what you can get out of it. And we'll see you in another video. Thanks for watching. Bye.